Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, One Punch Man, second season, episode 7. Like as I said before in the previous episode, I think that has been a little bit better than the previous one. And I am speaking about episode 5 and episode 4. But mostly perhaps because I am to blame, because I hyped those two way too much, because I was expecting something a lot better than was delivered. The fight between Garu and Metal Bat is just spectacular when you read it on the manga. Once you translate that manga to the anime, not so much. Honestly, it was a very, I don't know, boring fight, and it should not have been like that. It should have been spectacular. It should have been pretty amazing, well paced. But unfortunately, it felt kind of stiff, even. And why I'm saying this? Because perhaps I made a mistake of reading the manga. That's something I have been doing after recording this audio, recording this video, recording the presentation, and recording the episode. I watched the manga. Actually, after recording everything, is that when I watched the manga, I read the manga or reread the manga. And yes, in the manga, it looks so much better. Last episode looks so much better. Yeah, that's why I said I made the mistake of doing that. Perhaps that's why my judgment was a little bit softer than before. Thanks to the fact that I did not hype it myself of waiting for a great fight, and the fact that I did not even touch the manga like for a week before I stopped myself before going to this episode. Now, the episode of this week, it is genuinely good on the manga. Again, I know I say this a lot, but it's genuinely good on the manga. So, I don't know what I'm going to say after I watch the episode. But, we won't figure that out until, I watch the episode. So, let's just cut all of this and watch the episode. And I say this for the third time. Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the 7th episode of the second season of One Punch Man. And again, as you might recognize my reaction, as you might recognize the emotion I was feeling during the reaction, I am extremely disappointed, to say the least, in this episode. I did not hype it to the max before the episode because I genuinely thought that we are just going to watch the S-Class heroes act, and a lot of them. And yes, that is what we partially saw. But I am disappointed in the fight between Suiryu, I don't remember, and Saitama. I'm gonna hold my thoughts until I reach that point. We start again with the same scene, or kind of the similar scene than the last scene of the last episode. So I'm just gonna cut that. And we start to see the Swordface, and I don't know if that is his name, but that's what everybody is calling him. Swordface is a nice dude. Yet he seemed, or at least it seemed in the past, that he was just a dick, like everybody else, that full of himself and kind of misjudging everybody. But the more you watch the episodes and the more you read the manga, again, sorry to mention the manga again, but it's something I'm going to do a lot in this one, so warning about that. He's a pretty nice dude. He's pretty calm, pretty collected, and of course when Saitama beat him, it's still kind of his pride doesn't let him say that yes, he was defeated by Saitama, well, by Charanko in this case. But yes, it's obvious that he's a nice guy. He's a nice guy. And again, we saw the S-Class heroes kind of showing off. Kid Emperor, Emperor Kid or Kid Emperor, kind of showing off his robots. God Pig, of course, eating the entirety of the fucking monster, which is something that really happens in the manga, and that's it. There is not much to say about that one. I don't recall if it's the same monster that Kid Emperor fought, but anyway. yes, it is. It is something spectacular to see all these S-class heroes, other than Saitama and Genos, of course. And yes, I'm putting Saitama in the S-class because, come on, he belongs in that class in the first place, and beyond that. But anyway, we saw Drive Knight, if I'm not mistaken, which is showing off his parts. Yeah, I know it sounds kind of weird, but that is basically what is happening. And this is one of the multiple forms that he can adapt himself to, well, portray. And this is, once I start to read that about in the manga, again, they were in the beginning, he is pretty neat. His powers are pretty neat because he's basically, I don't know if he's an android or he's a full-on robot, but he can change his form, and he always carries kind of, I wanna say, a cube or a kind of a mini tower in which, of course, the excessive parts he cannot put in his body are carried, and that's why he kind of have a form of a centaur in here. And that is one of many forms. And yes, he's pretty cool. He's pretty good looking in the anime, but I don't see much action from him. And I think we saw more action in the manga. We got, I said God Pig, and I said Kid Emperor. And then we returned to the tournament, in which the genetically perfect dude, the creepy dude, and yes, that is something I can give to the anime, that they make him look really, really creepy. Is kind of speaking, oh yes, I am the perfect human being, I was breathed to just be this awesome, and etc, etc, etc. And of course, Saitama just punched him into oblivion, because that is Saitama. Saitama doesn't care about your stupid and dramatic stories, and you are not a true foe to him. So yeah, that's it, that's the fight. We saw another multiple fight against a gigantic octopus, several A-class heroes, and then arrives, of course, Flashy Flash, the S-class hero. And yeah, the S-class hero is just showing off that, yeah, the A-class is nothing compared to the S-class. That's why there is a separation. And Flashy Flash is showing how fast he could be. Because yeah, that is his main point, that he is extremely, extremely fast. Which is true. That is true, and he's showing off his sword skills. And yes, he's kind of getting blinding the freaking monster with every movement. I still don't feel like the fight is as dynamic in the manga. I feel it feels kind of stiff, and even not the sound helped it this time. But that's not it. Even between S-class heroes there is competition, and of course Tatsumaki arrives, destroys the monster in seconds without making much of an effort, and yeah, let's drop it and scold the rest of the heroes and goes away. What I don't like about this one, and again compare it to the manga, is how the expression in Flashy Flash almost doesn't change in here in the anime, and in the manga is a lot more expressive when he is screaming towards Tatsumaki. He's furious against Tatsumaki because yes, he's an S-class hero, he's awesome too, and yes, he really is. And he doesn't, and the Tatsumaki just take away his prey. And he's angry, and a lot more expression we can see on the manga. I'm going to put some image comparing to the expressions, but still, that is an aspect I don't like it, and unfortunately the episode goes downhill from here. We saw the destruction of the octopus, Tatsumaki just leave, and we return to more places, to more S-class heroes. In this case, the Master of the Sword, including obviously Atomic Samurai, and one of them becomes a monster, but Atomic Samurai deals with him quite easily. What this scene lacks is the dramatic in here. You don't feel the tension here. You know that Saitama is going to deliver the final blow. That is obvious. That is the premise of the show, of the manga, and obviously the anime. In this one and in the first season, that's obvious. But since the story is focusing more on the rest of the heroes and not so much in Saitama, you kind of see You must see more drama from other places. You must feel the tension that other heroes are feeling. Because this is a very dire situation. This is a lot of monsters, some of them extremely strong. And they are trying to deal with this fact. And this is not what I felt in the scene. I felt boredom in this scene. In the Five Masters speaking. And even the drawings, they just copied the manga drawings, put a shade of animation over there, and that's it. And that's especially with one master, Nichirin. The old one, the very old one, because yes, all of them are old. This looks good on the manga without color. This looks like crap on animation with color. Unless you draw it or you color it very well, this is not well translated to the animation. And yes, we finished the scene, as I said, when they were offered to transform into monsters, they rejected, and of course it was cut into pieces. And yeah, we saw the three main disciplines of Atomic Samurai. We're going to see more about them if we reach the point in which the manga kind of enters in a certain place. I'm not going to say which place, but yeah, we're going to see more about them. Anyway, we return to the tournament and we return to the final. I'm going to speak very quickly, very briefly about the fight. Yeah, Suiryu, I think it is, kind of fights pretty spectacularly. He's holding back. He doesn't want to finish the fight in seconds like he has been doing in the last fights he had, and he's just kind of testing Saitama, saying, "Oh yes, I want to be fun. I want to be entertained." And we saw this fight. Of course, Saitama is not affected at all. He's just going on and on. And even when he's thrown in the air, when he is putting down on the ground, and Shiryu saw that really nothing is making any damage to him, and yes, he's getting more pumped because he believes that he still can win even though Saitama is strong, and he believes himself to be stronger. Of course, he doesn't know. And we saw kind of the dramatics behind the scene, that every single trope of a tournament that say, "Oh yes, but he is holding back. Oh no, he doesn't have any chance because of this or that." Yeah, we kind of see that because that is necessary for this to make it a full parody. That everybody is kind of saying no. And yes, that's it, of course. Shiryu pretends to be open to the punch, but Saitama kind of feels, and this is not terror for Saitama. This is not, "Oh no, this dude is way too strong and I need to pull back." No. This is because Saitama figured out that he's way too close and he could actually destroy him in one punch. So yeah, that's why he pulled back. Yes, we saw the fight, and Saitama gets kind of angry when the words that Shiryu spoke, that heroes are useless, you should just enjoy your life, why should you just waste your time trying to be a hero, and all of that. He gets kind of mad, but give one final piece of advice, that if you want to be, or if you want to have fun, don't become stronger of what you are now. And delivers a punch that strips the top part of the clothes of Shiryu. And this is when he realized that Saitama is a lot stronger, because he could not avoid the punch, even though Saitama held back. And this is the point in which, of course, I said that yes, Saitama is not scared of this dude. Before that, of course, Saitama has lost the wig already thanks to one of the kicks. And this is when the fight really starts in the manga and the anime too. This is when we saw, of course, Saitama is disqualified, and but Shiryu doesn't care about that. He just wants to fight and starts to attack Saitama. And this is when he realized that nothing that he does really has an effect on him. And we saw how he moves the platform, he starts to attack more and more, but nothing is changing Saitama's expression. And this is when he delivered one of his final blows, well, before that, of course, the freaking circle is hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting and hitting, but Saitama doesn't give a crap because, come on, it's Saitama. And this is when he delivers the final blow, when he's planting his feet and is starting to be very aggressive in the ground and start to attack. And this is one of the strongest attacks he has. Perhaps the strongest attack he has. Everybody said, oh, run because this is awful, this is way too much for you. Again, we know it's Saitama. And he delivers the punch. He breaks one of his bracers. But Saitama is not face at all. Saitama starts to say that the only thing different is, well, he starts to understand what is martial arts and say just attack with cool movements and that's it. And of course, he starts to move very pathetically because that is not cool. Let's accept it. Saitama is not cool in this moment. And of course, the other dude is kind of angry and he is getting closer to attack again. But Saitama just punch him with his hip and that's it. That's the end of the fight. Because yeah, he wasn't a rival for Saitama. Nobody is. Saitama runs away because yeah, he knows that what he did was kind of illegal. But that's it. And of course, the final scene is we saw Goketsu approaching to the stadium, and yes, even Geno said, "Oh, this way, this dude, this way, yeah, this way is the stadium." No, this dude is way too strong. And yes, he is. Goketsu is very, very strong. And that's the end of the episode. Now, the parts I am disappointed in, because yes, I am very disappointed in this anime. The fight is not dynamic at all. The fight between Saitama and Suiryu is not dynamic at all. It's honestly boring. Because you cannot feel anything. For the lack of expression from Saitama to work, to be comedic and to be funny, you need to have an amazing animation in this place. The other dude really needs to be showing off. You need to see the effort of the other dude while Saitama is doing absolutely nothing. And honestly, I cannot see effort in this anime. I cannot. It's boring. Even when the fight is supposed to be kicking in, when Saitama lost his wig, we see, honestly, not a good animation, very boring animation. And even with the massive punch of Suiryu, the big one, you should feel the weight of the punch. You cannot feel that with Saitama. Even if he's punched back, you kind of see the resistance of the ground. Because yes, the ground is not Saitama. He should be a certain amount of resistance. But the ground is fixed. It doesn't move. It doesn't tremble. You cannot feel the strength of the punch in the animation. It's honestly disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Even the animation previews the connection of the punch. Again, as I said, I'm going to be speaking a lot in the manga. I'm going to compare it with the manga a lot. You feel more dynamic in there. Hell, even the crowds feel more dynamic in the manga than in here. You can feel more action portrayed on the manga, on fixed image, than in these. This feels dull. This feels stiff. This feels lifeless. And when you read the manga, you read and you watch amazingness. You watch how the drawings are just so alive, which is something you don't see here. And this is why I am so disappointed in this episode, because this fight in the manga is amazing. I recommend you to read the manga, especially look for the fight between Saitama and Suiryu, and you are going to start to understand why I am so disappointed and kind of angry now. I feel anger right now, not just disappointed, anger, because this was such a waste of good animation. You could make an effort to make this good, but they did not that effort. It's soulless. This feels soulless. And this is what I am afraid of, that this feels so sad, so boring, when One Punch Man should never be boring. Oh boy, this is... Again, there are several fights that I was looking forward in the animation when I hear that this is going to be back. But now, I'm just dreading said fight because I am going to be so disappointed. So sad, honestly. What they did to One Punch Man in every aspect. Even the soundtrack that they use in this episode doesn't fit. They couldn't come up with original songs for these guys. They just reuse what we saw in the Boros fight. That's it. That's the only thing we hear. And that is not good soundtrack for this moment, because it's not on the same level. The only thing I was thinking when I hear those songs is how freaking spectacular the fight against Boros was. That's it. It doesn't help this anime. Man, this is probably, and perhaps I'm exaggerating because I'm so angry in this moment, but this is probably the worst episode of the second season. There, I call it. This is probably the worst episode of the second season. I am so angry and so disappointed in this one that really is unbelievable. But anyway, I don't think you want to hear my rambling, my angry rambling right now. So, yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed it more than I did, honestly. I did not like this episode at all. But, yes, I hope you enjoyed my reaction and my commentary. Yeah. See you on the next one. Bye.
Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you did, give it a like so the algorithm from YouTube will help me out. And check my other videos, share them, and also why not subscribe to my channel and join this community. And as always, I want to thank you for your attention, your likes, and even your dislikes, your comments, which is something I always look forward to read. And yeah, once more, thanks and see you on the next one.